One more thing. Luka is going to play international ball. You can't stop him. I'll tell you why.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine. Don't let his lightness take away from his quickness.
You can rest later. You're young.
And then recover here.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah, welcome. You are still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and your best friend covering the Dallas Mavericks on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We'll talk about Slovenia today. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as playoffs wind down. The sport stops sporting like we want them to, but this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers for a bonus or a boost daily. That's right. Something for everyone. FanDuel.com/locked on. And we'll talk about Slovenia today. Slovenia in the Olympic qualifiers, who they are now, who's on the team kind of now, how's the makeup of this team, how do the qualifiers work and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about the game against Croatia for as much as it was a game. Slovenia lose 92-108. Are they out of it? What does that mean? We'll talk about that. But I got to start here because the sentiment that I see in comment sections, text box on subtext, Twitter, everything from Mavs fans. Why is he playing? I wish he would just lose and rest already. Why does he even do that? Why is he out there and playing? What's the point? Why does he do this? Why? I just wish he would sit down and hey, Luka Doncic is going to play for Slovenia anytime he gets a chance to. He just is. This is important to him. This is a thing that is very important to him in his career. You know what's not important to him, or that he says is not important to him? Scoring records. The MVP, all NBA. And all season we go, man, I just wish Luka would try for that MVP. Man, I just wish Luka would try for that. We all want him to try for these things that aren't important to him. And then the one thing that he comes and says, this is important to me, I'm going to do this. Oh, what a waste. Why is he doing this? I wish his bum ass team would just lose. I got that text I got that tweet a couple times today. From Mavs fans. He's going to play. You're not going to stop him. And guess what? You know who else is going to stop him? The coach. I even saw some people say, oh, ridiculous for that coach to leave him in there that long. Now, that part I do kind of get a little bit. It is the coach's job to decide who plays and who doesn't. But you're not going to stop Luka. You know, if you're going to give him the option, hey, you want to keep playing or do you want to just sit? You guys are down 20. I can come back from down 20. That's the audacity we love about Luka. Anytime he steps on the court, he thinks he can win. If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here. That's how you win Game 7 against the Phoenix Suns. That's how you go to the NBA Finals when nobody thought you would. That's how you go out there and hit a game-winning shot against Rudy Gobert in Game 2 on the road to win and go up 2-0 in the West Finals. Incredible. Incredible stuff from Luka Doncic. You know where that comes from? You know that passion, that drive? I almost went into my ad read. You know where that comes from? An insane competitor. And he's going to go out there and play whenever he can. And if he can play for his country, he's going to. It's more important than what you think it is. If you're from Slovenia, if you're from somewhere else besides the U.S., maybe you understand this better. It means more to you than you think it does. It means more to him than what it would mean to you. Team USA is not the same thing. You don't have the same relationship to it. It's a country of 2 million people that Luka gets to go out there and represent. That he's dreamed about since he was a kid. He's going to every single time. Yeah, but it doesn't even matter. They didn't even make the Olympics. Yeah, but he's going to go out there and try and give them a chance. Can you imagine the pressure? Can you imagine the outside pressure from his family members, from people like, hey, are you going to get us to the Olympics? Because it's all on him. If he doesn't play, this team has no shot. No shot. Not even close. We'll talk about this team. And so he's got to go out there and play. And honestly, today, 26, 11, and 10. 26 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists against Croatia today. He's not dying out there. He doesn't look right. He's definitely hurt. I understand wanting him to rest. But you can't just go out there and be like, why is this important to him? It shouldn't be. Can't tell him that. You can't tell Luka that it's not important to him and that if he has the opportunity to do that, to go out there and play for his team, then he can. Yeah, but the Mavericks are the one that pays him. They're the one that pay him $50 million a year. True. But that's like me going to you and be like, hey, I know that you've got this family event on a Saturday. Put your job before your family, right? Like it's a similar thing where it's like, what's important to you? What matters to you? Well, if I hang out with my family, it doesn't affect my job. It might. Put your job before your family. Put your job before your country. Put your job before. Okay. Don't worry about that. Just put your job before anything else. And that's what we ask these athletes to do sometimes. Put the team, put your job before anything else in your life. All the offseason, why is he not working out? The Luka Doncic picture comes out a couple years ago. Why is he not working out? Jeez. He's on vacation. What's he doing? Why is he not working on his defensive drills? Doesn't work like that. As much as we want them to be like a Sims family and go out there and just hit the button like, hey, rest now. You go to rest. Go to bed. Get off that knee. If he can play, he will. He played all through the finals. He had 26 points, 11 boards, and 10 assists today. He's going to play. You can't stop him from playing. And so why is he playing right now? They have a shot, and they had a shot to get to the Olympics. So he's in the qualifiers right now playing for Slovenia. But with that being said, all that being said, he's going to play. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. It's here. It is what it is. All the complaining I saw today, he's going to play. But that being said, it doesn't look like Slovenia is going to be playing for very long. They had a tough outing against Croatia today. The qualifiers are set up like this. They're set up in a group in Greece. They're playing in Greece right now. Slovenia is in Group A with Slovenia, Croatia, and New Zealand. All three of those teams will play each other. And so if Slovenia loses against New Zealand on Thursday, I'm pretty sure that they're just done. I'm pretty sure they're out of it. If they win, then the top two teams in each group advance to a semifinal on Saturday and then a championship game on Sunday. So they would play basically probably Croatia again on Saturday if they beat New Zealand. And then they would go, unless something crazy happens with Croatia and New Zealand. So Slovenia, if they beat New Zealand by a good enough margin, then they play on Saturday against probably Croatia again. And then Sunday it would be the winner of Group B, which is Egypt, the Dominican Republic, and Greece with Giannis in Greece. So if anything, let's say Slovenia wins against New Zealand. Let's say they play Croatia on Saturday. The Sunday game was probably going to be against Greece in Greece with Giannis. It's a tough one. So I don't think there's a couple big blocks and big hurdles that they have to cross in here. Slovenia is not qualified for the Olympics, and so if they get through this, they will, and that would be a huge thing for them, huge thing for that country, massive, all that. But if you're in the camp of, I just want Luka to sit down and not play. All right, well, he's probably not going to play for very long. This is not looking very good. Coming up, let's talk about what this team looks like. Let's talk about the game against Croatia. Why did it go so bad for them? What is this team, and what's the biggest problem that Slovenia has? We'll talk about that and more coming up.
We don't believe you shouldn't be here.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds that you can use to get in on the action. Put some money down, have some fun with it, see what is out there right now. They have all kinds of stuff for the Euro 2024, Copa America, WNBA. Let's see what they got WNBA styles. Let's do championship odds. Vegas Aces, plus 155. They're the favorites. New York Liberty, plus 185. They're up there as well. Our dearly beloved Dallas Wings, plus 2,400. Plus 24,000, excuse me. Very, very long shot. Dallas Wings to make the playoffs, plus 540. To miss it, minus 900. They're in a bad way right now. They're just in a real bad way. But you don't have to be in a bad way because you can bet on all kinds of other things. FanDuel.com/lockedon. There's all kinds of bonuses and boosts daily all over the place. So check it out. Check back on FanDuel. Again, FanDuel.com/lockedon. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. It's the one more thing, the bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We'll talk about the Mavs free agency and stuff more tonight on the episode. Thanks for being part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. Appreciate each and every one of you. I had Kylan Mills on the show last night from Locked On Warriors to talk about Klay Thompson. Really good conversation with her to talk about what Klay brings to the team, why he left, his antics that people are talking about, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about Slovenia. We're talking about the Olympic qualifiers for Luka Doncic's team, Slovenia. They lose against Croatia today in a big way. And so it seems like they'll need to win on Thursday for sure in order to move on. And if they don't, then it's a tough go. Slovenia, the team right now is, if you've listened to us and if you've watched this, we've been covering Slovenia since 2021 when they made the Olympics then for the Tokyo Olympics. We've covered them in Eurobasket. We've covered them in the World Cup. We've covered them in the Olympics now. This is now the second Olympics we'll cover Slovenia. That's actually pretty cool. And the team is kind of the same as what it has been back then. They have really not made a lot of changes. Luka Doncic obviously headlines it, the best player on there. Luka Doncic, who is a 6'8" wing from the Denver Nuggets. I almost said from the Denver. No, he's from Slovenia. They're all from Slovenia except for one guy. But Luka Doncic, 6'8" wing. He's coming off an ACL injury from the last time that Slovenia played. That was a really tough one. He missed all the Nuggets season last year. Zoran Dragic, the brother of Goran Dragic, is a 6'5" wing. You got Alexis Nikolic. He's a 6'3" guard that starts for them. And then the other guy that starts for them used to be Mike Tobey. You used to hear a lot about Mike Tobey. Why can't the Mavs bring Mike Tobey in and all that? Remember those days? But the Mavs have a center, Josh Nebo, who's a 6'9" center. He's naturalized. Each team gets one player that gets to come over and is, a naturalized citizen, or somebody gets brought over. That's how, Joel Embiid's going to play for France, or, and all that kind of stuff. Klemen Prepelic coming off the bench. He's like their small, microwave scorer guy. He's very important. We'll talk about him a lot. You got Gregor Horvat, who's another wing coming off the bench. Ido Muric is coming off of an injury as well. He's been important to them in the past, but I don't even think he played. I don't remember even seeing him play. Yeah, he played for 13 minutes today. Not even that much. And then Ziga Dimic is kind of their bruiser center off the bench as well. And that's sort of the team that Slovenia is putting out there. They rely on three-point shots. They rely on three-point makes and creation from Luka. They rely on playing fast sometimes if they can get stops, but that's a big if for them sometimes. Goran Dragic has played on this team in the past, and that's when it was at their best, when it was Luka and Dragic playing together. But the biggest problem that they have really is that they haven't replaced Dragic in any real way at all. They don't have one other player that can create and do some stuff, and it really does feel like the Mavs from 2023. Feels like the Mavs with, all right, it's just Luka and maybe Dinwiddie does something, and what's Christian Wood doing? It's just there's just not a lot of options around. And you look around and you go, okay, if Luka doesn't do everything, then what happens for this team? And they struggle a lot on defense. They struggle against big teams. They struggle against fast teams. It's just it's really tough across the board unless they get a lot of threes going. They can play out in transition a little bit here and there by getting some stops, but they didn't get any stops today, it felt like. And Croatia shot really well from three. Croatia dominated from three, and that was what really did in Slovenia a lot. Like I said, Luka finished with 26 points, 11 boards, 10 assists. The next closest was Klemen Prepelic, and he's the one that's got to step up. They kept saying it on the broadcast, and they're right that he's the only other one that can really get his own shot or get hot or hit shots. He went 4 of 11 from threes. Once he's just got to get. He honestly, for them, this game, he should have taken 23s. He should have just gone for it. Luka was 0 for 9 from 3. His 3-ball wasn't going. He's the only one, Prepelic, is the only one that can start getting some threes to fall. And that's tough. It's tough for them. They can get some stuff going with Nebo with the pick and roll. He's, the 6'9" center that plays for them. He can get up. And Luka threw some awesome alley-oops to him. He got some other alley-oops in this game today. So they can do some stuff with the vertical spacing, just like the Mavs do with their centers, but they need to be able to get out, score some more points. Their offense was just brutal in this game for the most part. Their defense was bad too, but I think they've got to get their offense right, because a team that's as bad defensively as this team cannot have such a poor offense like they had. It just didn't look like they were even capable of getting out and playing with Croatia at all and hanging with them. Croatia, is a pretty good team. They've got Zubac in the middle. He had a great night, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for him. They've also got Dario Saric, who played great for them. He had a triple-double, 19 points, 10 boards, 10 assists for them. Mario Hezonja starts for them as well. Remember, he used to be in the NBA. He had 12 points, 16 boards, 8 assists for him as well. He hit a couple of threes. And then they got Filipovic, this guy I'd never heard of for Croatia. He hit 6 out of his 7 threes, just bombing from 3. So you look at one side, you're all right, nobody can stop any 4 of those guys. And on the Mavs, and then the Slovenia side, you're like, all right, it's Luka, and if he doesn't get something going, what else is going to happen for this team? Real tough one. They got it to like a 13-point lead at halftime after a technical foul. Prepelic hit a 3 with like a minute left in the first half, and you're like, okay, it's 13 points. Let's get it going. Let's get a big run in the second half. Start going into the third, and you're like, okay, it's just they're kind of hanging around. Croatia got it to a 20-point lead, and then all of a sudden the clock stopped working. Shot clock above Slovenia's basket stopped working, and they had to completely lower the basket, brought out a ladder, all this stuff, huge delay of game. It was like honestly 10, 15, 20 minutes that they were delayed trying to make this work. And then all of a sudden you see Croatia start warming up on their end because their hoop is fine. Their hoop and their shot clock is fine and all that. And so they start warming up, and Luka and all those Slovenia players go out in half court and go, hold on, we want to warm up too. What's going on? And so all the Slovenian players and all the Croatia players got in like intertwined in a line. So it'd be like a Croatia player, a Slovenia player, a Croatia player, a Slovenia player, and got in 2 lines and did layups and drills, like warm-up drills on the same basket. I'd never seen that before. Like 2 teams warming up on the same basket, going back and forth. Luka was on the bike and he was going, but after that delay, you're like, all right, big long delay. Slovenia's been down. They've looked terrible. They look like they can't even hang with Croatia. Here's an opportunity for them. And as soon as that really crazy long delay ended, Slovenia was down by 21 at that point. You're like, all right, get a nice little run to end the quarter. There's like 3 minutes left in the quarter. Let's get a nice run to end this quarter and see what happens. Immediately after that, Prepelic misses a 3, and Filipovic hits his 5th 3. 6-point swing. It's a 24-point lead for Croatia. And at that point, the game was over. Slovenia just had no offense, just didn't have enough offense to be able to hang with what Croatia was bringing at that point. So now we look to the next game on Thursday against New Zealand. We'll see what happens there. We'll follow it. I'll have a One More Thing episode for that one as well. Guys, thanks so much for listening to the One More Thing on Locked On Mavs about Slovenia. We'll be back with more on free agency and all that kind of stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me on Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.